there's something they call blind loyalty. And I think that Arteta has had enough time to at least improve on the results. You cannot use naivety as an excuse for him anymore. This is a coach that has spent 700. He doesn't collect naive salary now. Salary that he collects is world class salary, not naive, not naive
Yeah.
salary. The kind of money that he has spent on Arsenal since he became manager is not naive money. That is, if you give that money to the 20 clubs in Serie A, they are going to use it to build squads that would probably make it to the quarterfinal of Champions League every season.
Welcome back, our fans. It's still the Late Go podcast. With me on the show, I still have my amazing panelists, the party dancers, the Milanistas, the pride of Italy, and the pride of London. The first club the first club trying to win all useful and useless UEFA competitions, Chelsea. Uh, in this segment, like I announced earlier, we're having a giveaway section where we'll drop a quiz. You have to answer the quiz in the comment section on the YouTube platform. I repeat again, you have to answer the quiz in the comment section on our YouTube page. So in this segment, we'll be focusing on Arsenal, regrettably. I think Arsenal are becoming to feature a lot on this podcast, but even as neutrals, we are concerned with the state of affairs at the Emirates. And we'll be discussing two things today. We want to know what our panelists think should be the fate of Mikel Arteta after going trophyless in yet again another season. And I'm going to throw in some kickers in that discussion so that somebody watching at home would not assume this is a witch hunt. This is not a witch hunt. There have been complaints, there have been moans here and here, and people want an improvement. And we feel, should the improvement start from the manager? Now, it gets worse if it's not a matter of if again. One of United or Spurs are going to win the Europa League. It puts Arsenal's season personally in a worse situation if a Spurs or United is winning a trophy and Arsenal is going trophyless.
Yes, of course. The answer is simple. It will be so stupid of the Arsenal board to think that sacking Arteta is the next thing to do. To be very honest, for me, he's a very young coach, still quite naive. And if you're getting a coach who Arsenal is his first job as an head coach, then you're getting a coach who will make mistakes, a coach who would, of course, at some point get it wrong. But on the average, you can say that if imagine the likes of Rooney and some other coaches who had coached some teams that are way smaller than Arsenal. Imagine coming to Arsenal now as a coach with those past experience. You say, okay, you're getting a coach who has worked somewhere else. So of course, it's his first job. You can expect him. He came first season. He won trophy. He won a trophy. He won the FA. You can't say he has been trophyless because he has not won the Champions League or the Premier League. Does not mean he's not a good coach, or does not mean he has not done something nice for the club. If you sack when you give him all the resources,
Okay.
all the resources. If you agree with me, he has not been properly backed. Forget the figures you're quoting, 700 million. Really. He didn't buy Kai Havertz as an attacker. Let's not get it wrong. The only striker he bought in that team was Gabriel Jesus. He bought Jesus. Why? We can't deny the fact that Jesus and Zinchenko raised our level. They raised our level. Let's be sincere. You won't kill them. What did they want to do again? You won't kill them. Of course not. You see, you will send us backwards. You will send us backwards, like starting afresh.
And that's what
Someone has
most
built
people
a
always
team to
think.
some extent. Let him continue. Back him the more.
I am with you. That is what we are known for. They should have sacked. It's like 2 years late now. They should have sacked him 2 years ago. It is 2 years late. It is, the problem is you can't be in a club for 5 years and the best you have won is FA Cup. It shows the level of mediocrity in Arsenal. It doesn't. It is a
Have
top.
you hired Conte? Have you hired Conte? No. Have you hired Ancelotti? No.
Okay,
You hired a
what
coach you know that is
what
naive.
would they say the
You
excuse?
have two
What would they say
options.
the
You either
problem
wait
is?
for him to evolve.
It's a long time. A child that they gave birth to 5 years ago is already in primary two. It's a long time.
Has he been
It's
consistent?
almost preparing
Yes.
for common entrance. It's a long time.
Finishing second.
See, you
Consistency
Finishing
takes
second
we
as
have
well.
forgotten the fact that this particular season, yeah, we had injuries. Let's call it spade a spade. If you add our team, so tell me which team in England had 6 key injuries.
What
Tottenham.
I mean
happened
6
last?
key injuries.
What are your number of injuries again?
Tottenham, Man United.
You had injuries and you made it to a semi-final.
That's to tell you how good the coach is. You
Master
cannot
class.
tell me Arteta is
Done. I said I'm behind Tayo. Just leave me. Anything Tayo says today, I'm seconding it.
that's how
No way
good the coach
anybody
is.
will convince me.
I think that Arsenal fans are built to be loyal to a fault.
To endure
Like
sufferness.
they feel like if they're supporting something, they have to support it through thick and thin, which is a good thing to an extent. But there's something they call blind loyalty, and I think that Arteta has had enough time to at least improve on the results. You cannot use naivety as an excuse for him anymore. This is a coach that has spent 700. He doesn't collect naive salary now. Salary that he collects is world class salary, not naive
Elite.
salary. The kind of money that he has spent on us now since he became manager is not naive money. That is, if you give that money to the 20 clubs in Serie A, they are going to use it to build squads that would probably make it to the quarterfinal of Champions League every season. That's how crazy that kind of money is. So I think that, like I've said previously on this show, um, Arteta has done well at Arsenal when you consider where he's taking them from to where they are at the moment. But it gets to a point where a club then decides we need to take it a level higher. We need to get a proven winner. We need to get someone that will guarantee trophies, will guarantee titles. And I'm going to keep using Inter as an example. I mean, Inter were coming out of Banta era and we had Luciano Spalletti, who was famous for always getting top 4 with the clubs that he coached. Spalletti coached us for 2 seasons. We got top 4, even if it was with high blood pressure, but we got top 4 for 2 seasons in a row. After that, the club brought in Marotta. The club decided that it was time to win. It was time to start winning and thought, okay, who is the best manager or what's the best team that we can put together to start winning trophies? So they brought in Marotta, a proven winner from Juventus. They brought in Juventus, they brought in Antonio Conte, rather, who is a proven league winner as well. And within 2 seasons, Antonio Conte raised the level. Inter won its first Scudetto. Since then, it's been, success after success. So you have to understand when you've reached your limit with a particular coach. And I think that with Arteta is reaching. I do agree with Tayo that he may not have received the kind of back. He may not have received 100% backing, but it would take a proven winner to force Arsenal's hand into backing him completely. You cannot have an Antonio Conte, for example, and he would accept most of the transfers that Arsenal does. As Antonio Conte would not go for a Kai Havertz, for example. Antonio Conte would probably have been Gabriel Martinelli. So proven winners have expectations for you to make their jobs even better. They put pressure on management. You get? They put pressure on management. They put pressure on the players to ensure that success arrives. But with Arteta, you don't particularly get that vibe from him. It's almost like he's fine with everything. He lights a bulb in the dressing room and says, "We have to connect. We have to this." Everything is not motivation. Sometimes you need pressure, maybe positive pressure. Put pressure. So if you ask me, I would say Arteta should go. This is not to say that he's a bad player. He could go to another club where the environment is way better and go ahead to win. But with where Arsenal are at the moment, I'll say bring in someone that is guaranteed to win. Proven coach. And if you ask me which coaches they should go for, Antonio Conte is rumored to be, he might leave Napoli according to rumors. Napoli is neither here or there. They don't know if he would leave, they don't know if he would stay. So you can go for Antonio Conte. I know Antonio Conte has a lot of baggage with him. There's a lot of would I say bad publicity, for lack of a better phrase now, because of the way he rants in the press because of the way he behaves whenever things do not go his way. But you are almost certain that you would win with Antonio Conte. You are almost guaranteed that you're going to win something. For the second coach, I'm not quite sure who to go for. If they're able to convince maybe a Zinedine Zidane, although I'm not particularly sure of Zidane, but because of the unavailability of many world-class coaches at the moment, it's hard to pick a second option. It looks like we've lost Kamsin. So,
Are
Kaz,
we?
I was
Are
just
we
going to
not?
ask you, what are your thoughts on this Arteta situation with Arsenal? Do you think he should leave? Do you think he should go?
I think I agree relatively with you guys when you say he's outlived whatever he might have to offer to Arsenal at this point in time. That doesn't mean he's not a good coach, and that is where probably Tayo might be getting a bit pissed when he's hearing, "Oh, he has to leave." He has to leave not because he's a bad manager. He has to leave because now the expectation from Arsenal is now a bit
Sorry, can you
different
hear me?
from what.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so the expectation from Arsenal is now a bit different from what they would have expected from him,
Exactly.
let's say some 2-3 years ago. They wanted stability. Now they have stability. Now they're expecting more. They want trophies. Like the reason why Arsenal, no, uh, uh, um, a normal Arsenal some 2-3 years ago would have been satisfied getting into the semi-finals of the Champions League. They are okay with it, but now it's a bit different. They want to win it. They don't feel anything going. They don't feel any either of Inter or PSG had a better team than they did. So they also feel they deserve to be there as well. You understand what I'm trying to say? So the likes of Klopp can bring them. I don't know if Klopp has signed for any other
I think he's like a
team yet.
technical director or something with Red Bull at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Football
He's
director.
in as
overseeing the
much
Red
as
Bull clubs.
we might want to probably not have conversations around Ancelotti. If Ancelotti leaves, I know he wants to manage Brazil as a national team. But Ancelotti would have actually, because he also has the mentality, he can command, this is what I want, this is what I want, these are the things I want to actually get you guys to the next level. And I don't think anybody will want to disrespect someone in the caliber of Ancelotti or Klopp. So I feel it's high time he left, but it's still up to Arsenal. Like I said, Arsenal always like to they just like to give us something to banter them with at the end of the day. It's okay.
Personally,
Did
if I
did
was
Yinka
Arsenal, I
mention?
would I would sack Arteta at the end of the season and go all in for Conte. Present a massive project. Arsenal have the money. They can convince Conte to come. Conte has Premier League experience. I'm not a huge fan of Conte, but I know what he brings. He raises the level. Conte has Premier League
Honestly, Conte
experience.
is not that manager of Arsenal. No
Conte
lie.
is a proven winner.
He's not that manager of Arsenal.
Please tell me why Conte is not the
Okay, what who
manager
is
for Arsenal.
You know why? You know why?
why?
First of all, if you check the caliber of managers Arsenal go for, they don't go for managers who do not want to stay in the club for 3, 4, 5 years. Conte barely stays in any club for 2, 3 years. Max now 2 years, 3 years, you don't come out.
Wouldn't you
You
like to
really
Well, we
win
stay.
in
start a
those two
cycle.
years and then go to another coach from there, probably another winner?
Arsenal likes longevity. They want you to be here
He
for
will
as long
start a
as possible.
cycle.
What?
Longevity of
He
losing.
will, Conte will start a cycle.
You can't take it easy on this guy.
It's true now.
You think
I
you
don't
are the
understand.
resident Arsenal, you are the resident Arsenal internal.
No.
I
You don't
think
have
this
Longevity
to.
guy
of
These are
losing.
these
uh,
are
The
very
guy is
very
ready for
important
war.
questions.
The
If
guy is
we're
ready
being
for war
honest,
tonight. I understand. I
These are
understand,
very important questions. Let's be honest.
but at the same time,
Why would you say you prefer a coach just because he would stay long with you, even if there's no guarantee that he'll win anything in those
no,
five,
it's not about
6,
me.
7
It's not
years?
about me. But if you look at the way the board operates, yeah, even during Emery's era, even for the fact that Emery was completely bad. I mean, it was going downward spiral, and we could not contain it. If not, it would have been here till now. Arsenal does not go for coaches that will give them problem. They don't want you to challenge them too much and all of that. They want you to just be here. You want something, they do it to what they can do because they don't spend much. In fact, even not for a do, we've never signed a player of £100 million, and it happened.
Do you see?
It happened
Do you
last
see
season.
Arsenal?
I believe that if we can get a quality striker this coming summer, we should be able to win something. Because this season, to be honest, even for some injuries and the fact that okay, we do not have a very solid striker, I believe we could have won something. At least the FA Cup, maybe.
I put it to you that even if you buy a quality striker this summer, next season you are still going to have problems at left back, possibly at left wing, possibly in midfield as well. So just saying that
We
buying
are
a
Right
striker,
wing.
addressing we are addressing at least 4 positions this summer. So
okay,
for me, it's
summer is almost here.
Calm
Hello,
down. Calm down.
Fọkànbalẹ̀.
It's okay.
the left
Arsenal
wing
will come.
position. Yeah, the left wing position is a must. The left wing is a must. The ST is a must. The midfield is a must. Martinelli
But
is a
Dunga,
extra.
I said Dunga, Tayo, do you agree that in these 5 years that Arteta has spent, Tottenham or United will be winning in Europe? Chelsea stand a chance of winning in Europe. City are perennial; they are consistent winners. Liverpool and Slot first season he won the league.
And he slotted himself to the
He
first position.
slotted in into the first position. Do you still believe in this Arteta process?
I mean,
Yeah,
even Postecoglou, Mr. I always win things in my second season. Might
In
win
the first
something.
season.
He's
This
about to
season,
win something.
let's see. So let's be sincere. Within me,
That's
I
be
already made
sincere.
up my
Oh.
mind.
Be sincere with
Hmm?
yourself. Oh.
I'm
He's
I'm
being
I'm
kind of.
I'm I'm giving Arteta one more season. Deep down my soul. I'm giving him next season to see what he can do. If we get the right signings. If we get the right signings, if he does not perform or win a trophy, at least the Carabao Cup, I'll say, okay, it's time to go.
This is the problem. Look at what are you setting for yourself? At
no,
this
we
Carabao
have,
point,
we
Cup.
have Chelsea
I'm saying
fans that
at
are not
least,
even
no,
happy that they may be winning the
we are
Conference
talking in
League,
the
considering how
context
much
of,
that they've spent. And you have
we are
Arsenal
talking in the
fans
context,
targeting Carabao Cup after spending 700 million. It tells you a
no,
lot about
now, we
the
are talking in
mentality
the
of the club
context
and
of
their
a
fans.
coach who is not winning. We are saying he's not winning. And I'm saying if at least he can win the Carabao Cup next season, we would say, okay, we
Why
want something.
Carabao Cup? Why not the league?
So calm down. So I don't want it to look like we're just bombarding you, but obviously you are the Arsenal expert here. So you are telling me that you think the Arsenal can challenge for titles if they win the Premier, if they sign a very good striker, possibly a midfielder, left winger, or you mentioned a few positions now. And what you're actually expecting to win if you plug all those holes would be the Carabao Cup.
Carabao Cup.
No. See,
At
my
least,
point
at
is,
least.
at least, let's start from there. If we had won that
Ah,
last season, so if we had won that
Newcastle
this season,
United did not need to spend that much to win the Carabao Cup this season.
they spent actually.
They didn't
They
need to
spent.
spend that much.
Let's back up.
Their coach did not spend 6 seasons with them either. And they've won the Carabao, and they were coming off a position far worse than Arsenal's. Because if I remember very well, Newcastle got relegated within the last 10 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. I think they got relegated under Benitez. They were really performing badly before the Sheikhs took over, or the Qatar investment took over. And then they've built season by season to get where they are now and then win the Carabao Cup. Now you're telling me
I
that after 6 years
I
with Arteta and 700 million spent, 50 million pounds or euros per season as salary.
I actually see see I actually they shoot the guy for leg.
By the time they sign the striker, the midfielder, the left back, we are not talking of 700 million. No. We are
We're
talking
talking
of
about 900 million
900 million.
or
And
1
telling
billion.
us that Carabao, at least Carabao Cup. Bro, you know,
And they set Arteta up.
Milan
And
is
they set
about to
him up.
win.
And they set him up, and I don't understand.
No, but it doesn't even feel threatened. That's the thing. It doesn't feel threatened.
Mayor, do you have anything to add to this Arteta discussion?
No, they should just sack him. He's long overdue because they're definitely not going to win anything. They have everything that they need to an elite club need to get going, but they never just they will never just get it taken together because what do you want again? What is their weak link? They don't have any. They claim not to have a striker, but they've been scoring goals. Initially, they said they were going to win the league, that they were so complete. All of a sudden, they don't have striker anymore, and they're in the Champions League semi-final. So when the fan now says if they can get the Carabao Cup, it says so much about that club. Because if my club is now vying for Carabao Club, I'll be so ashamed of myself because that's not where we used to be.
But you are there fighting. But you are there fighting for Conference League. Are you
Mayor,
even serious right
have
now?
to win
Mayor
it.
is so
We don't
Mayor,
go there to
You are
go and
there
make
fighting for
numbers.
Conference League. Are you serious right now?
Conference League is even bigger than Carabao Cup. Are
Mayor
you
is so
aware?
pissed. He almost called the
No,
Calabar
I
no,
mean,
Cup.
Conference
He
League
no,
is
said,
an
no, no.
European trophy, if we're being honest.
It's a European trophy. Carabao Cup is just
What kind
more
of
like a principal cup.
what kind of European?
And I think that the PR that will come with winning this Conference League is even more because it then makes them the only club that has won the Champions League, the
That's
Europa
to tell
League,
you that.
and the
You
Conference.
know,
So
winning
there's a lot of
Carabao Cup,
buzz that will surround that as well. I'm not saying it's good
w-
for all the amount that they spent, but you can
no,
still
it's not even
understand.
about that.
but
It's
it's a good
about
start. It's a good start.
even,
It's even, there's a
in fact,
light in there. There's a light.
instead of winning the Carabao Cup, I would rather win a principal cup. It's better.
You are being sentimental.
I said,
No,
You are being sentimental.
Mayor is so pissed that he
because
almost called
it's tantamount to nothing. It's
Calabar
more or
Cup.
less like a local
He's
government
so
cup.
angry. Eh?
It's more or less like a local government cup. There is practically nothing you're
Calabar.
paying for. So you want to pay for 500 million to go and win Carabao Cup. The community shit is better.
I'm just saying. I'm giving him one more season to perform. If he doesn't perform after this season, then
We
I
still
would
want
say
to
it's
give him
time to.
one more season. If it was Chelsea, they would have sacked him the second week. Week 2 of the Premiership, they would have sacked him. They don't even waste time. Your club is really mid.
Arsenal actually gave Arteta a new contract when he lost 3 games in a row. So you can imagine how much they don't want to sack him. They want to keep him,
It is
obviously.
safe to say that there's a secret that Arteta knows about the board directors that if they should sack him, he will reveal the secrets. That's why they're doing it because why? Why should you? You're not even winning anything all this while. If there's a secret he knows that he must not even.
But do you know? But do you know if you sack that man today, more than 3 clubs in the EPL will pick this man up
They will pick him up from
instantly.
Everton,
Which clubs? Which clubs? Which
Everton,
clubs?
Crystal Palace, Ipswich.
That shouldn't even be your that
Ineos
should
openly admired Arteta. Do you know?
but that
Ineos
shouldn't be
openly
your problem now.
admired him.
They
That
always
shouldn't be your
admire
problem.
him.
Just move on.
We have mentioned the other
Ipswich
two
should now
clubs.
be
Mention the other two
jostling.
clubs.
Ipswich and Everton. They will be jostling for his signature.
I think if he leaves Arsenal now, next destination would have to be La Liga. You would go to La Liga to go and pick up one of the
Maybe
clubs.
Real Betis
But
or Real Sociedad.
you can get maybe Valencia or one of those other clubs in La Liga. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, the next question is this. Considering the fact that Tottenham or Man United might end up with an European trophy this season, also considering the fact that Chelsea might also end up with an European trophy this season. Chelsea, I can understand because they are currently fourth on the Premier League table. But Tottenham and Man United are currently in 15th, if I'm not mistaken, 15th and 16th positions on the Premier League table. Now, if any of these clubs end up winning the Europa League, who would you say has had the best or the better season between Tottenham or Man United and Arsenal?
Arsenal had the better
Of
season
course, of
overall.
course,
Arsenal had the
of
better
course.
season
To be
overall.
very sincere,
To be
I
frank,
think if either of
But
them wins the
the reason we play football is to win trophies. So if one club has gone
sometimes you
into the
play good
season and
football.
ended up with a trophy and the other one did not win anything, how do you argue that they've had a better season?
I think
It is not.
if either of Man U or Tottenham wins the Europa League, I think
Their season is
I
still
think
disaster.
they
It's
have a
still a
better season than
disaster.
Arsenal.
If Man United or Tottenham is is owned by Chelsea owners, I'm talking about back in the days of Abramovich, they will still sack them. They will still sack those coaches. It was a
That's true.
disappointing season.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Right. It looks like we've lost Samson and we've lost Cass. And I think we should just use this opportunity to also run our giveaway session for this part of the show. I'm trying to remember what the question was that Samson was supposed to ask. Just give me a minute to quickly get that moment. Just looking into that now. All right. So the question is quite. I think we have Samson back. One moment. Oh, okay. Casta is back. So the quiz is quite simple. Like Samson said earlier, please ensure to have your answers in the comments section of our YouTube page of this particular video. That's where we're going to collate all of the answers and then pick a winner. The question is very straightforward. On our last episode, that's the episode where we discussed Salah, that's Mohamed Salah and Thierry Henry. One of the guests on the show, Tosin, um, talked about um, great defenders that Thierry Henry faced. He gave examples of great defenders. The question is simple. Who was the first defender that Tosin mentioned as his example of a great defender? Just
Terry.
drop your answers. Sorry, what did you say?
Nothing.
So just drop your answers in the comment section, in the comments, and we'll be sure to pick our winners before the next episode. Cass, welcome back. We were talking about
Thank you.
Tottenham and Arsenal season. We're just about to round up, but do you have anything to add? Basically, the question was that who would you consider to have had the better season between Tottenham or Manchester United and Arsenal if Tottenham or Manchester United end up winning the Europa League, considering the fact that they're both 15th and 16th in the Premier League at the moment?
Well, without mixing words, if either of United or Tottenham ends up winning the Europa League, I think they've had a better season than Arsenal. Because at the end of the day, it's about the trophy. It's about it's a win-win for whoever wins the Europa League. You are getting a place in the Champions League, and you're also winning a trophy as well, which gives you time to now, restart again and start your project all over again without really losing much. The only thing you are not doing is you are not up there on the ladder. So that's just the difference. So at the end of the day, I feel they would have had a better season than Arsenal. Because the only thing that would have made a difference for Arsenal this season is what we've talked about all through today, which is winning a trophy at the end of the day. Once you don't win a trophy, there's no difference between what you've done this season and what you did last season and what you did 2 seasons ago. So for me, you need to win a trophy to actually change the trajectory, to change the way how people see you when they play you over time. So I feel
Also, because
Tottenham
by
or
winning the Europa League, you end up in the same Champions League as Arsenal. So
Arsenal. So
Arsenal has
that's what
struggled
I'm
to
saying. Yeah.
finish in top four. Manchester United will finish in 15th or 16th and still make it to the Champions
Yeah,
League and end up with
Champions
a
League.
trophy. So I mean,
So
I
it's
think
a
you
that
can
should
win-win.
make the
change. Actually,
argument.
It's
that
a
should
win-win.
change. That
Sorry,
should change, though. It's unfair. It should
how is it
change.
unfair?
All those you qualify, you win the Europa, and then you play the Champions League. It should change over time. Honestly,
Well, it's been the
Why?
rule for several
For a
years.
long time. Yeah. So
So why is
no,
it that
we are working on it.
when it's
We are
come to
working on
Arsenal's
changing it.
turn
Don't
now?
worry.
Did
We
you
are
win the
working on
Europa
changing
League
it.
when Chelsea beat you like babies now?
I
I
tell
mean,
you,
you've
they don't want to
forgotten.
go back to
Sarri's
that route
Chelsea.
again.
Can never be Arteta,
hmm.
though.
Sarri's Chelsea beat Unai Emery's Arsenal. Or have
It
you
can only be
forgotten?
Unai Emery. It can't be Arteta. Arteta will not lose that match like that.
How many
Never.
times has Unai Emery beaten Arteta since he became Aston Villa coach?
It's back to
It's
back
not a
now.
cup final.
He doesn't leave
It's
him
not a cup
alone.
final.
But the problem
It's
is he
not a
will not
cup
even
final.
get there. He will not even get to the final for them to even beat him. He will not even get the
He has
Wait,
won. He has won every cup match he has played.
like what?
who are you
Like
talking
which
about?
one?
He has played 3 cup matches in the like a final game, and he has won it
With
all.
with
You're
which
Two
club?
counting
Community and one FA
community
Cup.
shield. Community shield as final too.
Can you imagine? Community
Yeah,
Shield,
of course, now final.
Heavenly Father.
There's
That's
a
like the
cup involved.
Panota football.
There's a cup. There's a
When did
cup
they play
involved.
the group stage for community shield? When
In
did they
fact, what
play
you
the
said
group
this
stage
night
for?
really says so much.
Final.
It really says so much about the fans that support us now. You just, how can you just be counting how many final he had won. How many has he won for you? Community Shield. Is that one?
How many
In fact,
semi-finals has he lost? He has lost about
I'm
six
only saying,
semi-finals.
I'm only saying that if that match was played between Arteta's Arsenal and was it Conte?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry,
he would have won.
it would have been a 4-1. It would have been a 4-1 victory, probably a 2-1 or maybe a draw and to the
But it
penalties.
would have, but it
But
it
Arsenal
should
will
have been
still
a
have
loss
lost.
on Arsenal.
Maybe not.
Look at this man. So you will still have lost, but you are saying the loss wouldn't have been embarrassing.
The way they have played on the
Anyways,
esteem of Arsenal fans.
come to the end of the show for today. Thanks, guys, for being part of the show till the very end. Unfortunately, we lost some of the guys that started with us, possibly due to technical problems. But I'm glad that we've been able to have a good time. Personally, I had a good time. I'm glad because we've been able to discuss a lot of stuff. And hopefully, God keep us. We meet again next week, same time, and have a good time as well. To our viewers at home, we appreciate all of your support. Please continue to support us on all our platforms: YouTube, Twitter, that's X now, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Like, shares, comments, subscriptions, everything means a lot to us. Until we meet again next time, have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye bye.